Today we're talking about why the INFJ always wins in complex situation. So what is a complex situation? A complex situation is a situation that most people are afraid of, that they don't want to take on. It's something that the INFJ is sort of addicted to. And we're addicted to it because these are the places where we are able to do something where most other people can't. And this goes to relationships, this goes for career choices, this goes for your vocation. It has absolutely everything to do with the way our system is set up. And today we're going to analyze how to find those complex situations, how to find those maybe more challenging circumstances that are the correct choice for us, that will allow us to grow the most, that will allow us to feel the most alive, and that will just add the biggest excitement to our life. Quick announcement, I can now confirm the INFJ Epic Life audio guide is officially launching May 15th. So make sure you sign up to get notified because you're also going to get access to an early bird code. And if you join the program before May 21st, then you're also going to have access to the 1-hour private INFJ Epic Life workshop. All the information you find in the links in the description. So when we talk about creating excitement in our life through complex situations, it's not just the excitement part. Of course, as a byproduct, we win in those situations the most. We actually have the biggest success. And what I've realized is that once you've gotten to terms with that, once you don't question that, your growth journey just accelerates because you're not wasting time asking yourself, why doesn't this easy path work for me? Why doesn't this easy path bring me the excitement that it brings to other people? So much of our time we're actually spending on situations like this, going for people that, just can't handle the way we are, wanting to be friends with them, trying to fit in situations just because we're looking for some kind of companionship. And every single time we recognize, well, this isn't the thing that's going to make me happy. But most of the time we get stuck at this place. We just think there's something wrong with us. INFJs are just meant to be alone and, we're going to suffer through life. When in reality, we just don't have enough examples of what to do. And hopefully my channel is one of those places that gives you the inspiration to actually look in a different direction. Because if you get to a place where you recognize those things that work out for everybody else, they're not going to make me happy. So I'm not even going to waste time trying to go for that normal partner. I'm not going to go for that normal job. I'm not going to go for that normal hobby because none of these things give me what I'm looking for. They don't make me feel like I'm living an INFJ epic life. They don't make me feel like there's excitement and curiosity and growth in my life. And these are things that we as INFJs just desperately need. And once you stop wasting so much of your time on those paths that, are not going to be the answer for you anyway, you're going to dive deeper into those more complex situations, into those challenges where you can prove to yourself that yes, you do have the vision for it. You do have the mind for it. You do have the thought processes in place that will help you to succeed in that. So let's look at how the INFJ functions. The INFJ really outperforms in complex situations because the INFJ succeeds in situations where there aren't any answers yet, where it's not about following a certain process that hundreds of people have done before, but where we have to create a system for ourselves that can work. And if you're put in a situation where you have barely any information, right, you are creating something from the ground up. You're creating something where there aren't many rules. You're creating something that is out of the ordinary. You make sense out of it all. And you have you in that situation and another type, chances are you're going to perform better. And what I mean with perform better is you're going to find your answers much faster in that situation. That doesn't mean that you have any kind of advantage or that, INFJs are smarter than any other type. What I'm saying here is that for the INFJ, this path is the right one. We don't have the advantage if we go down a path that so many people have gone through before in comparison to others, because others are going to be much better at reproducing certain things, living out rules that have been played out. That's not what our mind wants. Our mind wants the challenge. Our mind wants to create something new. So think about it. You can use this in absolutely every aspect of your life. Let's look at the 5 pillars. Like when you look at physical energy management, that it's all about, okay, you need to create energy for your life because if you have more physical energy, you're much more likely to actually push towards the things that are important to you. You decide how you can make this happen. Maybe that's not about doing what everybody else is doing, but finding your own pace. Maybe it's about deciding to do a sport that is really uniquely you. Maybe it's all about sleeping more. Maybe it's about decluttering. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you start off with something that feels like you, that you're not going towards, okay, it seems like everybody else is having fun doing this. Why am I not? Let's go for relationships. We all know that we're looking for relationships that are extraordinary, right? That's just, the INFJ thing to do. So let's go even more extreme. Let's see, what is it that I actually need? And then you may realize you haven't even been challenging yourself enough. Maybe it's about giving a person a chance that hasn't even been on your radar because you haven't even thought that that could be something that could make you happy. It could be a more complex situation. It could take a minute for you to actually get accustomed to, imagining yourself in that situation with that person, because it's not like the go-to thing to do, but it might be the exact right thing for you. The same thing goes for friendships or for work relationships. You cannot imagine how much energy I get through, talking to you guys, through my coaching business, through, my group coachings. And those are all connections that I have online. I don't have that many social interactions in real life, but that is not necessary for me. It doesn't have to work by everybody else's standards. It has to work by your standards. What is giving you that kick? What is making you feel alive? And the more you try out things that are a little bit outside of the box, the more you recognize that that is exactly the way to go. When it comes to wealth management, it's the same thing. Maybe you can decide this for yourself. For me, it was understanding that I will always choose my free time over, a lot of money. Meaning with this, I'm always going to create a life that is holistically nice than to say I'm going to work 80 hours a week just to make a little bit more, right? That's just never been my approach. But if I would have listened to what society tells me, oh, that's the hardest worker I know, and we're always aiming to create more and more and more and more, of course that wasn't going to make me happy. I actually chose the more complex situation. I chose, okay, whatever I do with my growth, I'll always make sure that I feel solid, that I feel at peace, that I feel comfortable, and that I can just live out my freedom. And then we can add to that. A lot of INFJs really understand this concept, but are we really living that out? It's one thing to intellectually get it. It's another to actually make choices in our life that really don't represent what society is doing altogether. Dare to do the more complex things. Dare to do the things that might challenge others too much mentally, right? It's too much out of the box. It's too different. Maybe it's too different for them. That doesn't mean it's too different for you. And just try it out. Like, you don't have to lose anything. You are smart enough to actually think it through and know, okay, is that a risk I can take or not? And if you feel like, rationally speaking, that's a risk I can take, let me try it out, then go for it. Most people don't even get to this place because it's psychologically too complex for them. When we talk about vocation, when I started this channel, I felt completely weird. I felt like everybody in my life who might by accident see this would know that I'm just weird. That I have, certain things that I'm thinking about that we're not talking about in real life with anybody else. And that people would actually abandon me for it. I would lose my, cool status or whatever I thought I had. I never did. But, those were like those ego things that we were afraid of. And yeah, it did turn out like, people understood, oh, Wenzes is actually different. But that's the more challenging part, right? To get happy that you're doing the things that are important to you and not that you're doing them because your outside will tell you, oh yeah, exactly what we're looking for, exactly how we like you to be, and that gives you some kind of satisfaction. I can guarantee you, going towards the more complex things, the things that challenge you, where you can prove to yourself that you actually do have the potential for them, nothing is going to give you such a kick like those things. And then looking at the last pillar, priority management, here too. You don't have to make priorities that are just what society wants you to do. You can decide, okay, how many people do I want to have in my life? You can decide how much time you want to spend, out there socializing or being in nature or doing any kind of social events. There is no right or wrong here. The point is to understand what you want and what you can do to create that perfect harmony for you, that perfect balance. And it will be a complex situation for you to choose a path that others are not taking, because you're going to have some kind of backlash. And even if you don't get that backlash, you will feel it yourself, because you're going against the norm. You're going against what everybody else is doing. But that's the fun part, the challenging aspect of it. Can I make it nonetheless? And when I say can I make it, I'm not even talking about, I can pay my bills or, I can keep my head above water. It's about, can you do it psychologically? Can you make those choices happen and still get to a place where you feel good about yourself? And I can guarantee you can. Because guess what? If you didn't have that potential to make it happen, it wouldn't pop up in your mind. There is a reason why those ideas are there. Because once you perceive them in your mind, you can make them happen. And so I challenge every one of you to look at your life. And if you tell yourself, okay, I'm not really satisfied with how everything is going on, to change your perspective to let me make it exciting. I have the power. I can add things to my life and let other things drop in such a way that makes my life extraordinary. And the cool thing about it is that it does feel weird in the beginning. It does feel like you're going against the norm and you're doing something that's so out of the box. But the more often you do it, you recognize that there was no box to begin with, that this is just your new normal now, that you have gotten so accustomed to this that there is no challenge in it anymore. And when you get there, guess what? You can take the next step and the next step. And that's why the INFJ learning curve is so exponential, because you actually get acclimatized to a version of you that is much more you, that's much more in alignment with who you want to be. Your life gets more and more exciting. You're not holding yourself back through self-sabotages or, any kind of mental blocks. And you continue that path because I was able to survive those last 5 blocks and those sabotages. I was able to overcome them. Yeah, I can take on the next thing. And that mindset just keeps on expanding. And those are the things that make INFJs so excited about life. And this is what I hear from INFJs all the time that work with me, that are in the boot camp. All of these things that we're talking about, these are not just phenomenons that work for some INFJs. If you are willing to take it on, you can make it happen, and it's completely on your terms. There is no such thing as, this is the general solution for all INFJs. What we learn here is how to listen to your own inner voice, how to challenge yourself, how to go in a direction that makes you feel alive more and more every day, and you stop thinking about, why me? Why am I always so lonely? Why is it that everybody's against me? No, none of that. You actually start thinking from a different perspective of, I can do this, I'm making it happen, I'm creating excitement in my life, and my life continues to get better and better. Remember, if you want some more guidelines for this, get the poster on the 5 pillars to an INFJ epic life and sign up to get notified when the audio course goes live, because there we talk about a formula you can continuously take on. It's a home study program. Really excited about it and how you like it. It's going to launch somewhere in May. So make sure your names are on the lists. All the information you find in the links in the description. And if you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then watch the video why the INFJ is slower than average, but why that's a good thing.